Straight to the point, no cut, no chaser. Yeah, Tim Bradley. I got no problem with Tim Bradley. I don't have no problem with no boxer. What these boxers ever done to me? Nothing. Only time I might have a problem with a particular boxer is when they're stopping us from seeing the fights that we want to see. But at the end of the day, besides that, I have no animosity to nobody in the boxing game. These fellas ain't done nothing to me. But Tim Bradley, man, he be speaking out of turn. And, Terence Crawford, who's one of my favorite fighters, not now, since like 2013. One of my favorite fighters. Has been one of my top three favorite fighters for over 6 years now. 7 years. Terence Crawford, the man, he's making the man Tim Bradley look bad. You know what I mean? You check it. The man Tim Bradley, he got his Superman cape on for Bud Crawford, talking about Bud Crawford even beats a prime for prime Floyd Mayweather. What compel him to say that? I have no clue. He never even fought Floyd Mayweather, you know? But really and truly, he's making Timothy Bradley is caping for the man Terence Crawford, but Terence Crawford is not following accord to what Tim Bradley's been saying. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let y'all hear this particular excerpt right quick from the man Tim Bradley. All I'm gonna say, all I'm gonna say is this, Tess. The only real man over at PBC is Deontay Wilder. You want to know why? Because he's going to be fighting Tyson Fury in February. Now, you guys over there, all the other welterweights over there, this man is begging to fight you. And he's going to continue to beg to fight you guys. Guys need to put your big boy pants on and need to come over and make this fight with Terence Crawford because he's the best welterweight in the world. Listen, here's the bottom line. You can talk about all the promotional lines and the politics of boxing you want. If a fighter wants a fight's going to get made. That's right. Bud Crawford will fight anybody. A fight's going to get made if a fighter wants a fight. Dre, your final thoughts on the evening. Shout out to the young fella, Teofimo Lopez. Yes. He's dealing with a lot. All right. You heard what Timothy Bradley said. You heard what Joe Tessitore said. If the fighters want to make the fight happen, the fight's going to get made. Now, I haven't heard much from Sean Porter, but we do know that from the articles that I read and the news that I read from the reputable journalist in the boxing game, Steve Kim, that team Kenny Porter and them are trying to make the fight. They try and get in contact with Top Rank, and they getting no answer. But that's well and fine. That's just from one side, you know what I mean? From the Sean Porters, you know what I'm saying? From Kenny Porter and Sean Porter, but not so much Sean Porter, but mostly Kenny Porter. Okay? But then I've also read you quotes from the man Terence Crawford saying he's not interested in fighting Sean Porter. You know what I mean? That fight doesn't make sense. And if it does, then we'll come back to it. But it doesn't make sense. What do you mean it doesn't make sense, man? I like Terence Crawford, but come on, man. I don't want to see you fight Kavalauskas, where you got to put on a performance like that, like similar to Floyd Mayweather versus Emmanuel Augustus, where you taking punches just to entertain us, kind of like Guillermo Rigondeaux. You know, Guillermo Rigondeaux got a lot of flack for the way he fought. What's his name? Hugo Ruiz. Was it Hugo Ruiz? Yeah, and how he fought an inside fight and wasn't using his distance, wasn't fighting from the outside, and turned it into a slugfest. That's what Terence Crawford had the result to entertain us 2 weekends ago when he fought the Mean Machine Kavalauskas. I don't need to see Bud Crawford's fighting those type of guys no more. I want to see him fight the best welterweights on the planet. Sean Porter and Errol Spence gave us arguably the fight of the year. Okay? They both went hell and back, and we applauded them. When that fight was over with, hit that thumbs up, B Marsh Boxing, when you come in this room. When that fight was over with, I applauded them. I applauded both combatants for putting it all on the line and giving us an entertaining fight. I've yet to see now Terence Crawford get tested in them type of measures by fighting some of the elite, the best of the best at welterweight. You know what I mean? You check it. And he's making Terence Crawford is making Tim Bradley, he's going to have to eat his words. You know what I mean? He's going to have to take that back, talking about all the PBC welterweights and all that, and they don't want to fight Bud. But Bud is the one who right now is talking about he doesn't want to fight even a Sean Porter, a guy coming off a loss. You know what I mean? And if Bud Crawford decides, if he's talking about a guy like Danny Garcia lost to Sean Porter. I got Bud Crawford beating both these guys, but the fight's got to be made. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, Sean I'm sorry, Timothy Bradley, he got to eat some crow. He got to eat all those words he was talking about the PBC welterweights. Whether the PBC welterweights have stepped up or not, at the end of the day, Bud Crawford says he doesn't want to fight even a Sean Porter. So who does he want to fight? A Robert the Ghost Guerrero? Who does he really want to fight? You know what I mean? That's where we left at right now. When I'm talking about people's stock plummeting, man, Bud Crawford is probably the prime example of a guy whose stock is plummeting. And it's a damn shame because this guy should be at top of the food chain with all kind of multiple straps, especially at 147. You know what I mean? A glamour division. I don't need to hear anything about Bud Crawford fighting Jose Ramirez, Josh Taylor, Regis Prograis. If that was the case, I would have loved those fights for Bud holding all four of those undisputed belts. Like, y'all fellas want some of this smoke, you got to come through me. And I'm going to knock them off one by one. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? If that was the case, I'd have loved to see that. Then Bud Crawford, after you've conquered the best at 140, whether it be Regis Prograis, Josh Taylor, Jose Ramirez, at the time Mikey Garcia, ETC, Victor, or he did Victor Postol up already. After you do that, then there's nothing left over there. You done cleared the landscape. Now you can move out to 147. What was the point of moving up to 147 to beat Terence Crawford? Sure, Errol Spence said, man, he need to do something. If he gets himself a belt at 147, then we gonna fight, man. But Crawford been done that. But still, this guy's still left in limbo. You know what I mean? I don't know what to say now, man. This is what happens when you put a lot of faith in these boxers and think these boxers are have no A-alikes and these guys cut from a different cloth. You know what I mean? Got to be a fan of the sport before any boxer because these boxers will let you down sooner than later. You know what I'm saying? Especially when they not taking the particular fights. That could be the best name on their resume, even coming off of a loss. Be March Boxing, your thoughts and Hey, what's up, Mike 104? How you doing, dogs? He's in the chat. He's here. Mike 104 says there's a short list of boxing media members that I take seriously. So what are you saying that who don't you take seriously in this scenario? Steve Kim or Tim Bradley? That's a good question to ask, Mike 104. To specify whom you mean that you don't take seriously, you know what I mean? And even like I said, if Steve Kim is full of ish and talking about that, and he's lying that Kenny Porter and them have been given the green light by the PBC to negotiate and make negotiations with Terence Crawford for a fight for both of them next. If Steve Kim is lying, Terence Crawford, he himself said it out his mouth that he's not interested. I seen him say that shit out his mouth on DAZN's YouTube page. He's being interviewed by that guy. I can't remember his name. Chris Mannix or something on DAZN's YouTube channel, and all those words that I read a quote for are right there from Bud Crawford. He said it out his mouth. You know what I'm saying? So, Mike 104, if you can elaborate before I skate up out this piece, which media member you don't take seriously, or there's a short list of boxing media that you that you take seriously, let it be known. If not, I'm out of here. B Marsh Boxing, leave your thoughts and comments. Let me know what y'all think about Terence Crawford and Timothy Bradley, and do you think Timothy Bradley should eat his words? Do you think he contradicted himself? You know what I'm saying? That's one of them type of situations. If Tim Bradley had a YouTube page, he'd have to take that video down. He'd have to take that video down of him saying PBC welterweights want no smoke with the man Bud Crawford, when a guy like Sean Porter who was one of the elite welterweights. Not now. The man was a champion in 2013. He's been still been pushing along. You know what I mean? Whether you like his style or not, you know what I'm saying? When the man Terence Crawford is saying he's not interested in fighting this guy, like I said, if Tim Bradley had a YouTube page, he'd have to take that shit down early, never late. P. Marsh Boxley, your thoughts and comments. And I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. If you're new to the channel, please share and subscribe and hit the like, the thumbs up button if you like the content. I'm gone. Peace.